Chino Hills, a growing suburbia stemming from rural roots, is populated by the wealthy and young. I have grown up here my whole life, and I thought it was the model community until I discovered the truth. Once a small farming colony linked to the more famously known Chino, Chino Hills became more well known once the agricultural land and dairy farms were replaced with residential homes. The area's natural beauty and seclusion from urban areas became a draw. State parks made up most of the initial attraction, and whatever flat land was left was converted into golf courses. Most notably the Los Serranos Country Club, which was established in 1925 as one of the premier golf courses in all of Southern California, and still, to this day, remains as one of the registration stops for the PGA Golf Tour. After numerous accolades were bestowed upon the city for its high income, safety, and overall family-friendly environment, Chino Hills has risen in popularity steadily over the past decade. It currently has one of the highest median incomes in the U.S. and continues to rise as a city that is racially inclusive, where minorities make up more than half of the population. With all these positive qualities, why wouldn't this city be perfect? This is just a recent development then with just facing the neighborhood?
Kind of like the redheaded stepchild.
Oh, okay.
You know, anything good is Chino Hills, anything bad is Los Serranos.
Well,
Yeah.
why? Do you know why that is? No?
No. It's just been that way.
Los Serranos, a subdivision of Chino Hills, has been a low-poverty area for the past 20 years now. Online search results yield no census information as well as a lack of historical information. All I could muster was the fact that it became technically a part of Chino Hills City when the census deemed it as too low income to be a separate entity of the area. Driving to the Los Serranos area was difficult, as the homes are only accessible from one main street or a back street that is not even paved. Come to think of it, most of the sidewalks are unpaved, along with the absence of street lamps and fire hydrants. Many homes are remiss and are surrounded by vacant lots and for sale signs of failed businesses. The homes are sandwiched between Los Serranos Country Club and the loud and rowdy freeway. I decided to walk around and ask the residents about the history of the area and why it was like this. I stumbled upon Judy Rogers, a resident of Los Serranos for quite a while. Do you know why the city hasn't put in I know there's a lot of gravel roads?
This is considered the blighted area. Okay.
According to the health and safety regulations of California, a blighted area is an area that constitutes physical and economic liability, requiring redevelopment in the interest of health, safety, and general welfare of the people of these communities and of the state.
So much money, they're putting so much money out of these state and federal funds that starting 2015, they're supposed to start putting in more street lights. Like there's only one street light on this whole block, plus that one over there, which is on a different one. Originally, we were told they were going to be like $9,000 or $10,000 a piece. But they're supposed to put in more curbs and some sidewalks. And right now, the only sidewalks going in are ones that are going to certain areas, like to the school and stuff like that.
Looking into the city's general plan and fund allocation, I found that the funds were being designated for target areas, Los Serranos being notably one of them. The plan states that the city aims to preserve the area's unique identity while improving public facilities, including the aforementioned additions of sidewalks, street lamps, and a sewage system. It also suggests helping the low-income families afford housing in the area. Though Chino Hills has been experiencing a decrease in grant funding for the past several years for areas just like Los Serranos, there is still more than $250,000 that could be put to use. But no apparent civic improvements have been made to the area. There are even noted infrastructure improvement funds that are not even being used yet either. I also interviewed several workers at the Country Store, an establishment that has been around since Los Serranos' inception. They did not want to appear on camera, but I found out as well that much of the area used to have small businesses run by minorities, but went out of business once suburbanization began. Once a charming hub for weary travelers, Los Serranos has become a place of violence and increased crime, because there are not many other options in this area. This is an example of residential segregation, first conceptualized by sociologist Julius Wilson, which states that an underclass is kept in perpetual poverty by limitation to its ties in an upwardly mobile social network, which connects people to jobs and other opportunities. Quite frankly put, when you live in the ghetto, your chances of landing a good job through social networks are indeed slim. In this case, Los Serranos is a ghetto. A ghetto is the most extreme form of residential segregation. And if the ideas of residential segregation are embedded into the community strong enough, a negative lifestyle is perpetuated in the form of the culture of segregation, where social ills are normative and lead to a continuance of decline in the neighborhood area. Unfortunately, Los Serranos has been experiencing a culture of segregation for much too long. Even with its target area designation, other projects have become a priority over the basic maintenance of Los Serranos over the years, including an outdoor shopping mall, several high-priced gated communities, and, ironically enough, a pricey relocation of a city hall and library. And to top it all off, a proposed housing project dubbed Lagos Los Serranos has been submitted that would replace many of the low-income homes in the Los Serranos area with a high-scale development, noted by condensed housing units, sports courts, and a community swimming pool. This is a classic case of gentrification, the buying and renovation of houses and stores in deteriorated urban neighborhoods by upper or middle-income families or individuals, thus improving property values but often displacing low-income families and small businesses. The Los Serranos area of Chino Hills is definitely under class bigotry, where much of the successful residents of the city refuse to simply waste resources on these peoples that are of low income. This also continues the perpetuation of the underclass, the culture of poverty that was originated in the 1980s. In this, it is stated that the poor are different from the mainstream in their ability to take advantage of what society has to offer. Thus, they are increasingly even dangerous to the rest of the middle class.
Areas. Well, you notice that there's parks all over the place, but we don't have a park yet.
Exactly.
Yeah. The dog park even took precedence over it.
Yeah.
So you have no clue why this area just isn't being attended to as well as other areas?
Basically because we're the blighted
And
area.
how long do you think you've noticed that was a trend? It's like that you guys were
From
being
the very
considered.
beginning.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Because I know that you're saying this was here before the entire development, and then you think everything else just kind of developed and then continued to develop?
Well, it's always been Upper Los Serranos and Lower Los Serranos.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Got it.
That's always been. And then as the new stuff came in, they were just, that was them. That was Chino Hills. And we were still Los Serranos for many years.
Got it.
Oh, okay. So this was kind of a separate...
When the city finally came in and incorporated, then...
Chino Hills is one of the more respected cities in all of Southern California, and it will continue to be that way. Still, hidden horrors lurk in this growing suburb precisely because of its status. The suburbanization of this once quiet and proud town has led to class inequality. As Parenti notes, desire to make it, even at the expense of others, is not merely a wrong-headed attitude, but a reflection of the material conditions of a capitalist society, wherein no one is really economically secure except the super rich. Steps are being made in the right direction, but now they are much too slow. Los Serranos, an area of rich character and living history, deserves much more than false discussions. It deserves immediate respect for its hard-working roots and the place it has in helping Chino Hills become what it is today.